Hello there guys, Mark here. I hope you are well. In the previous tutorial, I have shown you how to design letters that you can then use on key fobs, bracelets, belts, things like that. In this tutorial, we're going to transform our design into practice. So this is a more practical tutorial following up on the first one. Just as a refresher, here are all of the letters in the English alphabet that you can use for your key fobs, bracelets and belts. They are all 8 chords wide. Preparing for this tutorial was not all that easy. I had to do a lot of research and testing to see what works best. So here you have a few different implementations of letters. The first one is done completely using double half hitches. They are usually either straight horizontal or straight in the vertical direction. The clove hitch version here usually goes in a diagonal direction. The next two designs are basically combinations of the first two. So this one has double half hitches for the background and clove hitches for the letters. And this one is the reverse of the third one. Clove hitches for the background and double half hitches for the letters. This last one is the one that I decided to go with. So this is our design for this tutorial. Our design, if you remember, is 8 chords wide. This means that we have 8 strands, which are our base chords. The first row here represents the first strand. The second row, the second strand. The third row, the third strand, and so on. Besides our base strands, we're going to need a single chord for the background. For our specific project, the Love key fob, we're going to be using microcord. We're going to need 4 strands, each 2.5 feet long, as our base strands. Our working strand is 11 feet long. We're going to need a keyring and perhaps some scissors and a lighter. Let's get into tying. I'm going to begin by securing my project onto the table. I'm going to take a scrap piece of cord attach it onto the keyring and tape it down. In my design, the empty spaces represent clove hitches. So these are the red knots. The filled out spots are the double half hitches. So the first 2 rows here are done using clove hitches. Take your first strand and attach your working strand onto it. Pass over it, around, over again, around, like this, and to the left. Tighten up and push your clove hitch up. We're now going to attach our working strand onto the remaining 7 base strands. traveling from left to right. So over our second strand, I'm passing over here at the top, then I come around and into this opening. Tighten up, and this is the first half of the clove hatch. Pass like this. So over from left to right, come around, like this, and tighten up towards the right side. Like this. And again, just for good measure, let's do another one. So over our strand, around it, and through the opening. Like this. Again over from left to right, come around, through the opening, and tighten up towards the right side. Like this. Continue with the remaining strands. So in the first row, you have learned the clove hatch from left to right. The second knot that you need to master is again the clove hatch, but this time tied from right to left. So this is done in the second row. Pass over your first strand, come around through the opening, tighten up. Pass over again, come around through the opening, tighten up. And the second strand, again pass over, come around through the opening, tighten up. Pass over, come around through the opening, tighten up. And the third strand, again, pass over here at the top, come around through the opening, tighten up. Pass over again, come around through the opening, tighten up. Continue with the remaining strands. So this is the second row. In the third row, we begin making a letter. So we start here on the left with a single left to right clove hatch. Then we attach the next 6 strands onto our working strand using double half hatches. So the second strand comes around our working strand like this, creating a hatch. Tighten up, pass over your working strand, back under it, like this, creating the second half hatch. Tighten up, and repeat with the remaining 5 strands. So, a half hatch, tighten up, half hatch, tighten up. And finally, here we finish up with a single left to right clove hatch. Like this. So the third row is now complete. In the fourth row, we have 6 empty spaces, so we're going to do 6 right to left clove hatches. Then a single double half hatch and another right to left clove hatch. So let's do it. Now we're going to do a single double half hitch, this time from right to left. So we pass under our working strand, like this, creating a hitch. Tighten up and pass under your working strand for a second time, creating a half hitch, and tighten up. Then the final clove hitch from right to left. Here are a couple of more double half hitches tied from right to left, just because I only did one in my previous row. We now know the 4 essential knots needed for the pattern. From the first row, we know the left to right clove hitch. From the second row, the right to left clove hitch. From the third row, the left to right double half hitch. And from the fourth row, we know the right to left double half hitch. Now we can simply read the pattern and execute it. So now the fifth row, here, left to right, let's do the sixth row as well, just for practice. After executing the pattern, you don't really need to do any finishing knots. The clove hitches usually hold quite well. So, trim the ends, melt them, and you are done. And that completes our project. So guys, I hope that the previous video on designing letter projects and this one showing you how to make them are of use to you. Thank you very much for joining me today. See ya next time.